जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रांजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रांजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रांजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रांजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Let's do that one more time. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to our Sunday program here at ISKCON of Round Rock. Today we will be discussing from a very nice verse in chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita. It is the third verse of chapter 4. Please repeat after me. Sa eva ayam maya te adya yogaha proktaha puratanaha bhakta asi me sakha cha iti rahasyam hi etat uttamam sa eva maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam sa eva maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. Would anyone like to say the verse? Sa evayam maya tedhya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. Anyone else? Saivayam maya tedhya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hi taduttamam. Anyone else? Saivayam maya tedhya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hi taduttamam. Someone's phone is playing the drums. I don't know whose phone that is. If you don't mind going on silent, please. Usually, I'm much more tougher. I say keep your phone on loud, and if every time your phone makes a sound, you sponsor a box of Bhagavad Gitas to be distributed. But that has a very catchy sound to it, and it is a little distracting. So if you can turn off, put your phones on silent, please. Otherwise, instead of giving a class, I'm going to start dancing. It is a very ping sound. I don't know whose phone that is. Is it coming from the TV? Tanakishra Prabhu, is it coming from the TV? Okay. Okay. We'll go with the beat of that beeping sound. I don't know about the rest of you. It has a very Teams ping sound to it. I keep feeling like my boss is trying to contact me or something like that, which is never very conducive for a class. But please, if your Teams is going off the hook, feel free to check it. It's making sounds. Okay, so we'll read the translation. That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Brian, would you like to read the purport? You can use this mic. Arjuna? Okay, as a recipient of this great science, owing to his being a devotee of the Lord, but for the demon, it is not possible to understand this great mysterious science. There are a number of editions of this great book of knowledge. Some of them have commentaries by the devotees, and some of them have commentaries by the demons. Commentation by the devotees is real, whereas that of the demons is useless. Arjuna accepts Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas that of demons is useless. Arjuna accepts Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and any commentary on the Gita following in the footsteps of Arjuna is real devotional service to the cause of this great science. The demoniac, however, do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna consciousness. Here is a warning about such misleading paths. One should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we'll read the invocation mantras together. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swamin Iti Namine. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Lankayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Again, today we're reading from chapter 4, verse 3. Saivam mayate adhya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. The very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. First of all, I seek blessings from all of you that we can share something that is beneficial today from our scripture. Many of you here are far more senior and advanced than me in Krishna Bhakti, so I am sharing here just what I've heard from other Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis on this topic, very wonderful topic today. And please forgive me for any offenses committed knowingly or unknowingly in the presentation today. So this is one of my favorite verses from the Bhagavad Gita, because the Gita is such a wonderful literature, right? And if we read it chapter by chapter, there is nectar in the chapter. But when you look at the Bhagavad Gita almost as a continuous story, because it is not that Arjuna and Krishna took a pause. Like after they finished reading the last verse of the 3rd chapter, they're like, okay, Om Iti. It's not, they don't have like a yagya that happens, right? They just go on like one after the other, one after the other. So the flow of the Gita is really nice, right? Arjuna first has a moment of crisis, and then Arjuna has a moment of crisis that he is experiencing in the battlefield. And then he turns to Krishna, says, okay, Krishna, I'm feeling like I don't want to fight. And Krishna's first reaction is what? Krishna says, yeah, I understand, Arjuna, you're right. Please take a break. Just take a break, go relax, go to the green room and wait for some time. Is that what Arjuna tells? Krishna tells Arjuna? What does Krishna tell Arjuna the first time? I'm sorry? Exactly. Like, how are these thoughts coming into your head? Like, such thoughts are not befitting a great person like you. Like, what is wrong with you, right? And then Arjuna continues to have the same thought, but then this time Arjuna says, I am confused. Karpanya dosho pahata swabaha. He says, I am confused. I don't know what to do. And then I surrender to you, O Lord. Please tell me what to do at this time. So then Krishna smiles, and then the Bhagavad Gita really kicks off then. And that time Krishna starts to explain to Arjuna the teachings of the Gita. Chapter 2, entire Bhagavad Gita is summarized. Chapter 3, Krishna starts to explain what karma is. Karma as a concept is introduced in chapter 2, but really elaborated on in chapter 3. Now when we come into chapter 4, it takes a very interesting turn, because now Krishna, after explaining all of this to Arjuna, Krishna then tells Arjuna that, I actually gave this amazing science to Vivaswan, and then Vivaswan told Manu, and then Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. And this science has been coming generation after generation, and now I am telling you, because you are my friend and devotee. So chapter 4 is very powerful, because this is when Krishna introduces who he is. Until now, I mean, obviously Arjuna knew who Krishna was, but until now, Krishna is just Arjuna's charioteer, Arjuna's friend, Arjuna's cousin. But now Krishna is going to reveal to Arjuna who he really is, and it starts in chapter 4. So, this verse has always fascinated me because Krishna here gives 2 qualifications on how one can be recipient of transcendental knowledge. What are the 2 qualifications? No. Yes, but in this verse, just 2 very distinct qualifications are given actually. You are my friend and devotee. So devotee makes obvious sense, right? If this is this transcendental knowledge, of course you should be a devotee. You should accept that Krishna is the supreme. If you don't accept that Krishna is the supreme, why would Krishna give this knowledge to you, right? So the devotee part seemed pretty obvious. But I was always curious on why Krishna specifically calls out Arjuna as a friend. That why is friendship a qualification for receiving transcendental knowledge? Right? Think about it. Like so many rituals or so many things we go through in life, there are many qualifications listed, but friendship is not listed as something that is required, right? Like when you get initiated, you say the 4 regulative principles. Do you say, I vow to be a friend to my guru? No, right? We don't. We don't take a vow of friendship. But here Krishna, yet out of all relationship, he's not telling, Arjuna, I'm sharing this Bhagavad Gita with you because you're my relative. I'm not sharing Bhagavad Gita with you because I grew up with you. That's not the reason why he's saying that I'm sharing. You're my friend. So there is a very important meaning to why friendship is so significant here. So today's class will talk about why is friendship so important in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna actually calls Arjuna my dear friend multiple times in the Gita. Most notably in the end of the Gita. In verses 18, 65 and 66, Krishna calls Arjuna my dear friend. Krishna has now given the entire Bhagavad Gita knowledge, so he's not saying my dear devotee. Actually, in the entire Gita, Krishna does not refer to Arjuna as a devotee. He refers to, bhakto, devotees are close to me, bhakto si me. He says all of that. But he doesn't refer to Arjuna as devotee. He specifically refers to Arjuna as my dear friend. And when he's revealing his most highest knowledge, where he says, always think of me, be my devotee, worship me, offer obeisance, he says, my dear friend, do all of this. That is where you can understand Krishna consciousness. It shows this way that Krishna actually does not reveal his rahasya to someone just based on superficial knowledge. That he does not reveal his mind to scholars or yogis, but he is doing to Arjuna because friendship opens the heart. In the relationship of friendship, in true friendship, it is a heart-to-heart connection. You get to reveal your heart and confidence, right? That is why Rupa Goswami, when he talks about 6 loving exchanges that happen between devotees, is dadati pratigranati. In that, one of that is revealing your mind and confidence, is sharing your mind and confidence. This because Arjuna and Krishna do not have that formal relationship, because they're friends, Krishna is able to speak to him not formally as God, but as a friend, right? This is a question for kids, but we were all kids at one point. If your parents asked you to do something, and your friends ask you to do the same thing, who are you more likely to listen to? Friends. I like how every generation, right from 16, 17-year-olds to over 50-year-olds are all saying the same answer. We listen to friends. I feel like sometimes my parents would tell my friends, can you please convince her to do this? And then my friends would listen to my parent, and then I would agree. It was like a trick to go behind the circumference kind of thing. But we listen to our friends, right? Why? Because of relationship. With friendship, it is a very different relationship. So Krishna is able to, in this mood of Sakhya, he is able to share this with Arjuna as a friend to friend. The other thing in friendship which is very special is that there is a lot of vulnerability in friendship. Right? If we think back in our life, in moments where we felt something was wrong, like you may have told your parents, but there's a very high likelihood you would have told your friend, right? You would have told your friend, the very high likelihood. Like again, you may or may not have told. There were so many things I know I never told my parents, but I definitely told my friends. Like, oh, this person said this to me, or like I had my first heartbreak, or something like that. Like I would tell my friends, I wouldn't tell my parents this, right? Friendship in its truest forms allows vulnerability. When you're friends with someone, you can be yourself, you can be vulnerable, you can share what is in your heart, because it's free of judgment, right? So Arjuna was in that vulnerable space. That is why when he first tells Krishna, I can't fight, Krishna treats him like a friend also, right? We were discussing this today in our youth class, that, you know, a good friend is not someone who says, yeah, you're right, always. No, a good friend is somebody who will chastise you, say, what's wrong with you, right? Arjuna was experiencing classic imposter syndrome. He felt that he was not qualified to do something that he was eminently qualified for. That is what Krishna tells Arjuna. What is wrong with you? Why this kind of thing is not fitting a warrior of your caliber. Do what is right? That is what friendship is, because in that vulnerability, openness can happen. Krishna's confidential teachings can only happen in that vulnerable space, where someone is feeling like, I am weak, can you please help me, right? That is why this mood of Sakhyam is actually superior than Dasya. Like if we go to the 5 rasas that one can connect with Krishna in the 5 principal rasas, first is Shanta, which is neutrality. That is the rasa that like trees in Vrindavan, for example, connected with Krishna with. Second is Dasya, which is in the mood of servitude. The next is Sakhya, then Vatsalya, and then Madhurya. So Sakhya is actually higher than Dasya, because it is easy to serve someone, but very hard to be able to be true friends with them and take what comes with that friendship, right? Because friendship is not, it's a give and take relationship here. So, and then moreover, Prabhupada actually stresses in one of his class that he gave on this topic, where he says that unless one is a devotee and a friend, they cannot understand the mystery of the Gita. Without understanding Krishna as a true friend, without having that relationship with Krishna, one cannot actually understand Gita. It remains very theoretical. Shastra, the book is available to everyone. Bhagavad Gita as a literature, in no time in history has been this accessible. You can get a Bhagavad Gita anywhere, in any form you like. Whether it is on your computer, your phone, your watch. I have an app that sends me Bhagavad Gita verses and I get notifications on my phone. Even if I want to stay away from the Gita, as long as the watch is connected to me, the Gita does not leave me. Bhagavad Gita is there, so no time in history. Think about it. A millennia ago, somebody who had to get a Bhagavad Gita did not have easy access to a book and things like that, right? Anytime someone wanted to share the Bhagavad Gita, someone had to write it on papyrus and pass it. For us, there is no austerity. You want Bhagavad Gita, you ask like Siri or ask ChatGPT or ask Alexa, Bhagavad Gita just pops up. How amazing that is. But the revelation of Bhagavad Gita is only in its realization. If we don't realize the Bhagavad Gita, it remains theoretical. So that revelation of the Bhagavad Gita comes not in realization, but the true revelation of the Bhagavad Gita comes in relationship. It comes in relationship. It comes in understanding who is Krishna, who is Arjuna. And when we have that relationship, that is when the Gita can be fully understood. Because without friendship, without bhakti, without devotion, Bhagavad Gita is just a book, it's just an app. It's just words, Sanskrit words. The real message of the Bhagavad Gita, the beauty of Bhagavad Gita, it lies in understanding the relationship. It lies in understanding Krishna and Arjuna's beautiful relationship that is very real world situation. So, it is very evident from this that friendship towards Krishna is extremely important for us to understand the Bhagavad Gita, right? And Shastra says this as well. In the 9 processes of bhakti, which Prahlad Maharaj shares with his friends, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. So when we always talk in classes, right, we say that we should practice the 9 processes of bhakti. So, like, how do you practice Sakhyam with Krishna? So today we'll discuss that. How do we actually practice Sakhyam? How do we develop this friendship with Krishna, right? And again, in so many other scriptures, Krishna talks about the importance of being friendship, the Sangha, In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu says, Sadhu Sanga, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Mata Sadhu Sanga, Sarva Siddhi Koi. Like, association is the root of devotion. And it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna does not just say, I am only Arjuna's friend. Like, I don't know, like my daughter is 4, so she has like, oh, this one person is like my best friend. And everybody else is forgotten. And then the next day, this other person is my best friend. And then everybody else is forgotten, right? Obviously, at this age, that changes. But Krishna is not that. Krishna is not telling, Arjuna, today, because you're on the battlefield, you are my best friend. Tomorrow, you're not my best friend. Tomorrow, Bhima is my best friend because I want to sit and eat samosas with him. Krishna is not like that. Krishna is not changing parties every day on who his best friend is. In fact, Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that he is everyone's friend. In the last verse of the 5th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam nyatva mam shantim richati. Suhrad means the benefactor. The benefactor, the word sakha comes from suhrit, like the benefactor, the true friend. So Krishna says here, a person who's full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Krishna is guaranteeing in the Bhagavad Gita that he is our well-wisher. He's our friend. He guarantees this again and again. He says, you know, I'll carry what you lack and I preserve what you have. I will help you. You know, just surrender unto me. Do not be afraid. Don't worry. It's like the trust exercise, right? Krishna is practically telling us to follow the trust exercise. Just don't worry. I got your back. He says this again and again and again. Yet, we are afraid to be Krishna's friends. Krishna is wanting to be our friend. Krishna wants this relationship with us. Yet something stops us a little bit. Like, do I really, like, can I be Krishna's friend? How do I be Krishna's friend? Because it's hard, right? It's very difficult. Friendship when you're young is very easy. It's very easy. You know, oh, you like yellow color? I like yellow color too. Come, let's color together. You know, friendship is very easy, right? Think about our own life. Like, how many friends you had when you were younger, and like the number decreases as you grow older and older and older. It's like a funnel effect, right? It starts becoming narrower and it becomes deeper, but it also becomes narrower and narrower. So it is difficult to be friends. But Krishna here is telling that friendship is actually a prerequisite for understanding this rahasyam of the Gita. Does anyone here, who all here want to understand the rahasyam of the Bhagavad Gita? I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. No one else wants to understand. I can stop the class right now then. If no one wants. How many of you all want to know the rahasya of the Bhagavad Gita? Wonderful. So we all want to know the Bhagavad Gita, the secret of the Bhagavad Gita is, right? So it starts with being able to develop a friendship with Krishna. So I'm going to ask you all the question. How can we be Krishna's friends? How do we start being Krishna's friend? Or continue being Krishna's friend if you already consider Krishna as your friend? How do you do this? Very good. Know more about Krishna. Okay. By trusting Krishna. Very good. Develop Krishna. Exactly. Developing, all right answers, but that is the answer I was looking for. Developing friendship with Krishna's friends. So if you want to get to know somebody, one way is to get to know them directly. But the more potent way is to get to know those who know them. Right? Or get to know the person together. We go back together, right? So it actually starts with Sangha. So Sakhyam, which is a Sanskrit word for friendship with Krishna, starts with Sangha, which is friendship with each other. Before I get into friendship with each other, I wanted to share this point, again, on importance of friendship, why it's so significant. I heard this in a class, and I've been trying to find the source of this because I heard this many years ago. The point stuck with me. I don't know the source, so please do not quote me from a source perspective. But I heard this a long time back about when Nrsimhadev comes and he's coming to save Prahlad Maharaj. After Prahlad Maharaj is saved, when he asks Prahlad Maharaj, like, okay, what do you want? What is the first thing Prahlad Maharaj asks Nrsimhadev for? What does he ask for? Not everybody. His father. The first thing Prahlad Maharaj says is, thank you for saving me, but please fix my dad. What you just did to him, go fix him, right? So it said that Nrsingadev is amazed. How powerful is this relationship of a child and a parent, that despite of the parent being so bad, the child still loves the parent so much. So then he desires that, okay, in my next incarnation, I want to come and experience the joy of being a child. So he comes as Lord Ram. So he comes as Lord Ram, he gets to experience the joy of being Dashrath Maharaj and Kaushalya Devi's son, gets royally treated wonderfully by his parents, gets to experience that like parental love, right? And then while he's experiencing this parental love and he's feeling very blissful, he sees something very interesting. He sees that Lakshman is having so much joy serving him, that there is so much more joy in serving as the older brother. Then he's like, this is very interesting. And then he sees the monkeys, that the monkeys are having so much fun with each other. Lord Ram had devotees, but did Lord Ram have friends? No, he didn't have any friends. But then he saw the monkeys. The monkeys were like, there was no seniority, juniority in the monkey. Hey, I want your banana, I'll take your banana and go away. Like they were having so much of joy relationships. So then Lord Ram desires, okay, in my next incarnation, I want to come as someone where two reasons. One is I want to be a younger sibling and I want to have friends, which is why the demigods who appear as monkeys in Ram Leela come as Krishna's friends in Krishna's pastime, because Krishna wants to experience that joy. So this is like, I love this, like the thing that the Lord is so cognizant of wanting to experience all of these different rasas, right? It is only in Krishna Leela do we truly see the Sakhya rasa. In none other incarnations of the Lord does Krishna have friends other than Sakhya rasa. Krishna and his friends have such a sweet relationship. Like they tease Krishna, they make fun of him. Can you think about this, sitting back and thinking that who will make fun of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? You know, but Krishna's friends could. There's this very nice pastime where Krishna is just lying on, after having their lunch, he's just lying on under a tree, taking a nap. And then one of his friends, they decide to like tease him. And they put like near his nose, they put like the cotton thing. And Krishna like, hutch, he sneezes. And then he gets so like angry. Oh, how can you do this to me? I am God. And his friends start laughing. Hey, chal bas, look at you, and God and everything. Relax, go back to sleep kind of thing. Think about how sweet that is, right? But that is a relationship Krishna desires. So friendship is so powerful that way. And in order to develop that friendship with Krishna, it starts with Sangha, right? There are three different kinds of Sangha, devotee association. Sangha means devotee association. There are three different kinds of Sangha. First is hearing from someone who is senior than you, which is called Shiksha. So you can have Shiksha Sangha, where someone is giving you instructions, guiding you in Krishna consciousness. Then you have friendship with your peers, which is Sakhya. And then the third is you're guiding someone who is new with care and friendship, which is called Kripa. All three of these sanghas actually nourish our heart. But in my personal experience, what actually keeps us and which has kept me in Krishna consciousness is friendship with the peers. It's the Sakhya. Because not always do you have access to someone who you can get shiksha from. And after a while, getting so much of shiksha, what do I do with that shiksha, right? Like think in our own case, that imagine if all we did was go to school and then you were told you cannot talk to your friends after school. You listen to the teacher, go home, do homework, come next day, listen to the teacher, do homework, and that's it. How miserable school would be or college would be. Like if all you were doing is getting gyan, but didn't have anyone to share it from a realization perspective and to give it to others, it is actually like, it again becomes theoretical, right? It's boring. Bhakti is not boring. Bhakti can be anything, but it's definitely not boring, right? So in my personal experience, that what has kept me in Krishna consciousness is actually friendship with my peers. It has been deep friendships that have made it worth actually being a devotee. Because I remember as a child, I'm an only child. I don't have siblings. So I didn't have siblings to have a relationship with. But I remember that I used to want to spend more time with my friends. Even today, like I try to spend more time with my friends, much to my parents', frustration. But it's something that I always enjoy spending time with my friends because, and I've always wondered why. Like, my parents are wonderful people. Many of you have met them. They're really nice. They were always very cool. They were always very chill. But I always wanted to spend time with my friends. And it took me a while to realize is that, again, friendship is one of those relationships which is not a relationship by obligation, but by choice. Lot of the relationships that if you think about the world that we live in, a lot of our relationships are by obligation. Nothing wrong in it. Actually, even in friendship, Krishna describes the 3 kinds of friendship. There is bandhu, which is a friend of a relative. There's maitra, which is like a colleague, like a cordial, like a cordial friendship. And then there is suhrida sakha, which is the deep friendship. So even with a relative, you should have friendship with them, right? But that's not deep enough. And I realize it's because friendship is one where it's a choice. I can choose to be somebody's friend, or I can choose not to be somebody's friend. It's like bhakti, it's the closest thing to bhakti, right? In the sense of like, I have a choice. I can choose to be Krishna's friend. Krishna is waiting for me, but I have a choice there, right? Friendship is like that. It is very choice-based. So if we get to choose that, and when we choose to be become friend with someone, and they become friend with us, in that copacetic relationship, it is one where we can truly be ourselves without the fear of like, log kya kahenge? What will people think? Friendship is a relationship where you can be yourself, right? Think about how we are with our friends. You can be yourself. There's no judgment. There is no one saying, oh, how are you doing this? Why are you doing this, right? And without friends, you need that friend who's going to be there for all of your wins, all of your lows, all of your highs, and all of the challenges that you go with. It's that relationship that stays. For those of us here, particularly away from our families, friendship means something else altogether, right? Like, think about it, we spend more time with our friends than with our families, for most of us. It's reality of the situation, right? And it becomes all the more important for us to understand how powerful friendships are. There is a really short video that Gauranga Prabhu did. By the way, those beeps were from my laptop. It's a good thing. I didn't say the more beeps that come, I should sponsor Bhagavad Gita. It's a good thing, but that would have been a lot of them. So one of my friends actually sent this to me yesterday, and I thought it was very appropriate for this class. I don't know how to go full screen. Does anyone know how to do full screen on Instagram? I've never used it on my computer, so.
The one person who lets you rant, and then somehow makes you forget it all with a joke or a simple "sab theek ho jayega." This one person doesn't solve your problems. They don't have some jadoo ki chhadi to vanish all your issues. But with them, life feels happier. With them, you feel seen. With them, you feel heard and valued. Having such a person in your life is a blessing.
So, I don't know the videos from the start.
Do you have that one person, the one person whom you can text at 2 a.m. when you're overthinking about your life? The one person who gets the joke with just one eye contact? The one person who lets you rant, and then somehow makes you forget it all with a joke or a simple "sab theek ho jayega." This one person doesn't solve your problems. They don't have some jadoo ki chhadi to vanish all your issues. But with them, life feels happier. With them, you feel seen. With them, you feel heard and valued. Having such a person in your life is a blessing.
So it was a really nice video that kind of encapsulates, like, if you have someone like that in your life, how fortunate you are that someone who you can message at like 2 a.m. and just say things, and again, where there is no judgment, and that, sab theek ho jayega, like, they're there for you this whole time. It is such a privilege to have a friendship like this, right? I haven't even spoken about devotee friendships yet. This is just a friendship. Now, let's take it to the next level. Imagine if we had friendships like this. Sorry. Imagine if we had friendships like this from devotional perspective. Imagine if we had devotee friendships like this that can help us and propel us in our Krishna Bhakti. How powerful it would be. That is what Sangha is. That is what our That is what our Acharya spoke about. And we can see magic that happens when Sangha like this takes place, right? What were the 6 Goswamis doing the whole time? They were having peer association. They were having Sangha of each other, and from that association that they had came across so much literature in our Gaudiya Vaishnava culture and history that we still read and we still respect and appreciate. That understanding what friendship is in bhakti actually changes our perspective to how can we have friendship with Krishna. Srila Prabhupada actually stresses this importance of devotee friendships in a class that he gave in Hawaii in 1974. Prabhupada says, the association of devotees means to develop a friendship with devotees, to love the devotees, to respect devotees. This is required. We should not be envious, we should be friendly. So Prabhupada says that association of devotees means to develop friendship with devotees. When we say we hanker for devotee association, sadhu sangha, what does that mean? I said Hare Krishna to you and walked away. Is that sadhu sangha? It's not. That is not going to, it may help us just to be in the presence of a devotee, has positive vibes, but that is not sufficient for us to understand who Krishna is. That is absolutely not sufficient for us to understand more about Supreme Personality of Godhead and grow in our bhakti. It is to develop friendship. Many years ago, we attended this Vaishnava etiquette seminar by His Holiness Brad Bhagavad Swami. And then he shared this thing that this relationship of friendship amongst our peers is not spoken about enough, and it should be spoken about more and more. We often talk about how important it is to listen from our senior devotees. It's talked about a lot, and it is important. Shiksha is very important, but Shiksha without Sakhya is not going to take us further. It is not, it will not. It will take us eventually, but it will not go take us on the express path. It's like the HOV lane. Sangha is like being on the HOV lane. How can you be on HOV lane? Can you be on HOV lane if you're only a single driver? No. That is what Shiksha is, single driver. You want to get on the HOV lane to bhakti? Grab someone with you. Because without someone in the car with you, bhakti is a tough ride. It's a long journey, right? And this, in that seminar, Maharaj actually talked about this, and then he mentioned that in bhakti especially, friendship with devotees, when you're able to find those friendship with devotees, you are able to say things to each other without the fear of Vaishnava aparad. That's a big deal. That's a big deal actually, because if we think about it, Vaishnava aparad is the first offense to the holy name. Committing offenses to Vaishnavas is actually something that will deter us from bhakti. It will take us multiple steps back if you say something, to a Vaishnava. But in the mood of friendship is where you feel that I am in this relationship, that I can tell you something that I know will make you a better person. When Krishna tells Arjuna, what is wrong with you? Why are you so impotent? This is not befitting you. Was Krishna committing Vaishnava aparad to Arjuna? No. Right? When Krishna's friends are giving Krishna something that is not favorable to tease Krishna, and Krishna says, how dare you, I am God, and his friend says, chhod do yaar, are they committing Vaishnava aparad? This is a relationship where you are, but it is not something that just happens. Like I can't just say as you, Acha, okay, Ayushi is my friend, I will say whatever I want to say to her. It doesn't work that way. It is a relationship, right? Anytime you are with somebody else, it is a relationship. Every relationship takes work and practice, right? Think about like when you got married, right? When you're a newlywed, for those of you who are married. And for those of you who are not married, this is good advice for when you do get married. So my husband is not here in the room, but I will still say this, right? So when you're newlywed, and imagine your spouse is wearing something that is not very nice. When you're newlywed, you may not tell them to your face. Like if you've known them for a while, maybe you will, but you may not tell them, ki, oh, this kurta looks terrible. You may think it, but you may not say it. But when the relationship cultivates, you say, oh my God, this kurta, please don't wear it. You look like a fish. You can say things like that. Now, I may say that. I don't think he will take offense to it. Prabhus, who've been married long, is that right? Now your spouses can say things to you. Do you take offense to that? No one is nodding their head, so all of you, please watch out. But with time, as the relationship grows, it changes, right? What could have possibly caused massive Vaishnava aparad at that point is not aparad anymore because you talk about it. oh, this doesn't look good on you, but you know what? I really like wearing this kurta. I know it doesn't look good on me, but when I wear this kurta, I feel nice. Chalo fir theek hai, wear this kurta. If that's what makes you feel. We adjust, right? By the way, I do not pick my husband's clothing for him. I want to give that disclaimer here. I just picked one as an example. But you learn, like things like that. It changes, right? Relationships are like that. The more we invest in it, the more we build our relationships together, then you're able to say something to the other person without the fear of Vaishnava Parad. Because you know that what you are sharing with them is going to be for their betterment. In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna talks about austerity of speech, he actually tells Arjuna how one should be speaking. And one of the qualities that one should be speaking is truthful and pleasing to the others. Not just truthful and pleasing to the others, it should be beneficial. But you cannot just say something to beneficial if you don't have a relationship with them. Then they'll think you're crazy. Like, how dare you say this? A lot of times that happens, right? Where people say, how dare you tell this to me? Who are you to tell this to me? Have you heard that? People say this. Why? It's because there's a relationship mismatch. It's very important to understand. It's like if you cultivate these relationships, then you're able to actually have those conversations with each other, right? So in Krishna consciousness, you need friends. It is not it's a nice to have. No. Just as how you need Shiksha Gurus, how you need a Guru, you need friends in Bhakti. You need people to help you take you back to Godhead. You need your peers who will tell you when something is wrong, who are with you on a day-for-day basis, who are seeing you grow, who are seeing you fall, who are able to pick you up. So it is not a nice to have, it is a requirement. You need to have it. Again, if you don't have friends, Krishna consciousness is still there. Books are still there, temples are still there. It will just be a slower ride. So if you want to get on the HOV lane, we need to invest in having friendship with devotees, right? So now, we said earlier that as we become adults, is it easy to have friends or hard to have friends? Hard, right? It's hard to make friends. Is it impossible? No. So let's step back again to material, right? So as adults, this is mostly for adults, how do you make friends as adults now? How do you make friends as adults? There's not a lot of youth here, so I was going to give a pop culture reference, but I don't know if everyone will get it. There is a TV show called Big Bang Theory, where one of the characters who suffers from not being able to make friends wants to develop an algorithm for wanting to make friends. And he has like a full flow chart on how to make a friend, and then realizes that friendship doesn't follow an algorithm. It has to come from the heart, right? So how do you make friends as adults? Very good. Finding the same interest. Excellent. What else? How else do we make friends? Coming to the temple. Very nice. Coming to a community like ISKCON, we make friends. Excellent. How else do we make friends as adults? Inviting them home. Very good. How else? All right answers. But how do we make friends as adults? I'm sorry? Talk to them. Very nice. Very nice. Exchanging gifts. Wonderful. All of these are right. All of these are correct, right? And I want to zero in on something that Tribhuvan Gopal Prabhu said. It's actually understanding that, like when you find someone of common interest, right? What makes spiritual friendships in bhakti so special is they have a UCI, a universal common interest. What is our UCI? What is our UCI? Krishna, to serve Krishna. It is every single devotee has only one common interest, is to serve Krishna. When we remember that UCI, our universal common interest is to serve Krishna, everything else goes away. Egos start to fade away, bodily difficulties fade away, all of this starts to go. When we remember Krishna is in the center. You know, Prabhupada said in one of his Bhagavatam classes, material friendship, society, and love end with this body. They are temporary and produce entanglement. Real friendship is only possible when centered on Krishna. And you think about it, right? Like, it's not like spiritual friendships are some kind of utopia. That every time you see a devotee friend of yours, you're like, I am so blessed to see you, my Sakha, my Sakhi. Let's come and go back to Godhead together. No, it is not utopia, right? You disagree. You have relationship, it's a relationship. No relationship is perfect. Anyone who tells me that they have never fought in their marriage or never fought with their best friend, I'm like, you have not been in a marriage or had a friend. That the fight is meant to happen. It is going to happen, right? But if you remember that the center of this relationship is who? Krishna, then it changes. One of my really good friends, and if she is going to watch this recording, she will probably get a laugh at this that I'm bringing this up. But many years ago, we had a very big fight. Very big fight. We did not talk to each other for like almost half a day. Do you want to know what we fought about? Half a day. It was a long fight. Half a day, less than half a day. Actually, now reflecting, it was probably a couple of hours. But you know what we fought about? Who was going to rent the generator for Rath Yatra? There was a confusion on who was going to rent the generator for Rath Yatra. There was a miscommunication on who was going to rent it, and we were upset with each other because we thought the other person was going to do it, and our whole evening got spoiled, and we were driving to go get the generator for the festival, not talking to each other, so upset. And next day we realized what a privilege it is that if your argument is about who's going to rent a generator for Rath Yatra. That's the basis. But did that, half a day is a big deal. Like if someone you talk to for a long time, half a day you're just like, I'm not going to talk to you. It's a big deal. I know you're laughing. In some cases, maybe a couple of decades. But then you realize, right, you're young. Your decade is like, in some cases, you don't talk to somebody for a long time, right? But then you wonder why. If your friendship is focused on Krishna and you remember, I may disagree with you, I may be upset with you that you didn't do this or you didn't do this the way I want, but I remember that your intention is to serve Krishna and my intention is to serve Krishna, everything else is forgotten. When we get to experience devotional friendships like that, dear devotees, I can tell you, bhakti is going to become even more wonderful. Sangha with devotees is so beautiful. When Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai were having a discussion in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Mahaprabhu asks Ramananda Rai, what is the most painful thing? Ramananda Rai says, separation from devotees. It is the most beautiful thing to experience devotee friendships, devotee Sangha. It is not ordinary. It is divine. And we do not take it for granted. It is a privilege to have association of devotees. It is a privilege that, you get to serve with devotees. You get to understand that devotee friendships include grace. They include forgiveness. They include desire to work together to serve. Radhika Raman Prabhu, in one of his classes, gives this beautiful analogy where he shares that, bhakti is like standing at a local train station in Mumbai in peak traffic. That is what bhakti is. If you're lucky, you'll just get pushed onto the train. You don't have to do anything. That is what bhakti is. And who are the passengers? They're your devotee friends. If you are in that association, the right friends who will take you back to Godhead, you just have to stand there. And their love will just push you back. That's the Sangha we want to keep. Right? That is the Sangha that we want to keep here. So, today we started the class speaking about? Yes, what was the Sanskrit word for that? Sakhyam. So, we started the class speaking about Sakhyam. And then we just spoke about Sangha. So, how do we bridge Sangha and Sakhya together, right? So, Sakhyam is the cultivation of friendship with Krishna, trusting Krishna. That Krishna is my true well-wisher, as I said, right? Trust exercise. Truly surrendering to Krishna, that Krishna has really got my back. Sangha is the fertile soil where this friendship actually grows and matures. Sangha is where Sakhya, the mood for Sakhya gets matured. Without Sangha, there is no Sakhya. There is no Sakhya until we have Sangha here. Sangha acts as our gateway to Krishna. If we reflect back on our own journey, each and every one of us here, maybe minus the children who got raised in the movement, for those of us who got introduced to Krishna consciousness, we actually hear about Krishna, it's through Sangha, it's through friendship. Did anyone come and tell you, read the Bhagavad Gita? This Bhagavad Gita is full of knowledge. And then walk away. Is anyone here in the temple because someone gave them a Bhagavad Gita like that? Here, take this. I don't have a Bhagavad Gita here with me. Here, take this and walk away. Anyone came to the temple because of that? Most likely, even if you came from the street, someone gave you a book and say, why don't you come to the temple on Sunday? We do this, we do that. That's friendship, right? Somebody saying, come here. Maybe you'll like this experience, maybe not. No harm, no foul. If someone gave you Bhagavad Gita and you never came to the temple, it's not like the person is going to chase you down. How dare you not come to the temple? No, it's not like that, right? Friendship is not meant to be judgmental. Friendship is like, come, let's celebrate this together, right? But even forget books, like so many of us here. Or let me ask this, how many of you here are here at the temple because your friend asked you to come? Or someone created a friendship with you. Mataji, your friends are right here. Their hands are going higher than your hands right now. You know, how many of you are here because a friend asked you to come? I can tell you my parents' story into Krishna consciousness. So we were growing up, I grew up in Qatar, in Doha, which is a country in the Middle East. And in our apartment building, this is in the 90s. So in our apartment building, there were not many Indians living in Qatar. We're talking about early 90s. There were not many Indians. So our apartment building had only 2 Indian families, my parents and another family. And then 6 months after we moved to Qatar, another Indian family moved in. So they had a daughter who was about my age, and they said, hey, you know, you're Indian, we are Indian, nobody else is Indian in this building, why don't you just come to our house? So we started going to their house for prasadam. They just called us, come for dinner. So we went to their house for dinner, then they came to our house for dinner once, and they said, you know, our kids are the same age, they can play, you can just come for dinner. This was nice social gathering, so a couple of dinners went, and then one dinner they said, you know, how about we do a little prayer before we eat? So my parents said, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And my parents are pious, religious people. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Let's do some prayer. They started doing some prayer. Then the next time they said, have you heard of the Bhagavad Gita? So my father said, yeah, of course, I know the Bhagavad Gita. I said, very good. Should we read a little bit from the Gita before we do this prayer and before we eat? Yeah, sounds like a good plan. And that was it. You know, that was it. Like almost 40 years later, it continues, right? But it was a friendship. It wasn't with this intention of like, I'm going to save their soul. It was the intention of a friendship. Friendship is so powerful. It is because of a friend we're all here, right? Imagine if you had to come to a Sunday program and none of your friends are coming that day to the Sunday program. Do you feel motivated to come to a Sunday program? Right? Yeah? No, right? It's very difficult. Like my mother shared this with me. You know, my mom's in her 60s, and you'd think at that age, it's like, yeah, I can adjust wherever. But my mom shared one year they were in Mayapur for God Purnima. She's like, it was okay. I said, what do you mean it was okay? You were in Mayapur in front of Panchatattva for God Purnima. She's like, yeah, but I didn't know anybody. Like, it was nice to see the Abhishek, but it's so nice when you're with your friends. And it really struck to me, right? Festivals become more fun when you're with your friends. Forget festivals. Even Arjuna, when he's lamenting about like fighting the battle, he says, what's the point of fighting if I have no friends to celebrate with? Like, that is why friendship is so significant, right? So friendship, Sangha actually shapes our Sakhya. Sangha is the more and more association we have with each other, we are able to get closer and closer to forming a bond with Krishna. I saw something in one of the classes by devotee who's very nice, is Sangha is horizontal friendship. It is with all of us. And Sakhya is vertical friendship. It's with Krishna. So the more we are able to cultivate our horizontal friendship, the more we are able to cultivate our vertical friendship too. And the more and more, the beauty of this is, the beauty of Sakhya and Sangha is it is not a waterfall method. Now I have developed Sakhya. I am the best at Sangha. Now, Krishna, I am ready for your friendship. It doesn't work that way. It's a very cyclical thing. It feeds each other. The more and more we love spending time with devotees, the more and more we are excited to spend time with devotees, even through the good or bad, even to how exhausted we are, even though we're frustrated with this person, like, why is this person in my life, but yet I want to serve with this person because I know they want to take me back to Godhead, I want to take them back to Godhead, we got to do this together. Even in moments like this, the more and more we develop a friendship, our friendship with Krishna increases. And more our friendship with Krishna increases, what do we want to do? We want to share it with our friends. We want to share it with our peers. So, in closing of our class today, Krishna values friendship so much that, as we said in the beginning of the class, right, he only shared the Gita with his friend. Friendship was a prerequisite for knowing this Gita, right? Without Sangha, without our association, our bhakti dries up actually. Without devotee association, bhakti just dries up. And you'll see it. If you are away from your friends, away from devotees that you know for an extended period of time, something feels off in your chanting. Something will feel off in devotional service. I've shared this example here before in class. Like, I had to travel for work for 2 weeks, and that was the first time I was actually away for 2 weeks without any devotee. The closest devotee association in person I got was seeing my parents for about 30 minutes. That was it. 2 weeks of not seeing any devotees, just like work and office. I was in India. I had time to myself, but chanting was so difficult. Like, I couldn't chant properly because something felt off. And right after this 2 weeks, I had to go to Toronto for one of my friend's wedding. And I remember walking into the temple and just breaking down. Like, it felt so amazing to see the deities, felt so amazing to see devotees. Like, we miss it. We take it for granted. Like, I don't know how many of us have ever been in a position where we're without any devotees for like a couple of days or weeks. It's very hard. It is very difficult. Devotee association is that. So without the Sangha, bhakti just dries up, right? And when we have Sangha, we learn to trust. We first learn to trust each other, and when we learn to trust each other, we trust Krishna also. When we serve together, we laugh together and cry together with devotees. This is actually our practice for how to develop the same intimacy with Krishna. Intimacy with Krishna, when we want to develop this intimacy, we have to practice. Serving devotees, laughing with devotees, crying with devotees, serving with them, builds up to that intimacy level. In Brahma's prayers to Krishna, he says, "O Lord, even a little of your friendship of mercy can deliver the conditioned soul from the ocean of birth and death." This is the friendship that we want, right? So, as we wrap up here, treasure devotee relationships. Don't take it for granted. I'll give a homework to all of you. Today, I request all of you to take a moment to say thank you to one of your devotee friend at least. And if you don't have a devotee friend, take it as a challenge to find the devotee friend. As Gauranga Prabhu said, someone you can call at 2 a.m. and rant about something, or who will be there for you without judgment. You need that in bhakti. It'll help us grow. So please go say thank you to one of your devotee friends. Krishna, make every friendship a stepping stone to deepen our love for the Supreme Lord. And that is how we'll go. In closing, when I told this to some of the kids, some of you know I use ChatGPT a lot to help me with my life. So I put my notes into ChatGPT to help me like come up with a topic for the class today and like organize my thoughts. Once in a while, AI spits out a line which is very beautiful. So I want to quote this. So ChatGPT Uvacha, because it's a very beautiful line. It's not Shastrik, but I wanted to say because it's so beautiful. Friendship in bhakti is not just about being with others. It is about standing together under Krishna's shelter, where he proves again and again, I am your eternal friend. That is what bhakti, friendship in bhakti is. Friend. So this is how we're learning in class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. I think we're at time, but we can take one comment, question, or reflection. Actually, I will guide the reflection. If anyone here wants to thank a friend of theirs, take a moment. If anyone feels comfortable to thank someone on the microphone, please do that. Pudamasi Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful class. In ISKCON, in Krishna consciousness, we have many gurus. One of them is the Patha Pradarshaka Guru. And as part of that, I'm very grateful that all this Krishna conscious conversations and Bhagavad Gita started in the restroom in State Farm when I was there working for Bloomington, in Bloomington. And through her, right now she's, her initiated Sharanya Radhika Mataji, and she used to go by Shafali then. We got pregnant at the same time, and my daughter and her, like her son were like just 1 month, apart. So what just touched me is our conversations just started with, do you fast on Tuesdays, on Fridays? And she just said, no, I just do this and going to temple, I chant. And then that slowly started where she, invited us for the Janmashtami program, and this happened in 2008. And thanks to her, that we are so grateful that through her association, now my family, and because I used to watch her with her husband, doing kirtan, and I used to have this, I used to be so inspired that wish we could also be engaged in Krishna conscious. So I think when you have some genuine aspiration and to serving Krishna, he hears it. And lo behold, right now I see how my husband and my daughter, they kind of participate and practice this. And regarding, I think maybe during that time also, it's as you're saying, when we are young, we form close friends, but we are also very critical at that time, because we feel that Krishna conscious means everybody is like a saint. We put them on this pedestal, and that after that initial, the honeymoon phase that I call, then you start to look at things at a very deep level. And then because of that, Krishna also, takes you away from that, right? That's when I say, I think we really faced that separation when we moved from Bloomington to Austin. And for those 6-7 months, I was like, I knew what aparadha I had done. I mean, what was handed over and my platter, we were a little critical. But we had the best relation. Devotees used to come any time at the night. It was like a party. It was like a spiritual gathering. That relationship is still we have. And I think now it is very difficult to build that relation, but we somehow, I think we are just wanting that relation. We are trying to figure out, and it doesn't work out. As you say, as you grow old, it just funnels down. So my reflection and how it connected us to Krishna.
Thank you for sharing that. And thank you to your friend who introduced Bhakti to you in a bathroom. That is, I think that needs to be a title of a slow movie, Bhakti in the Bathroom, which is a very nice way to put it. Thank you so much. I think we'll wrap up, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for such a wonderful class. It is a much needed class. This topic of friendship often gets overlooked. So thanks for taking on this topic. Lot of takeaways from today's class. I was making so many notes. It's an endless list. Sakyam starts with Sanga. Friendship is not a nice to have, it is a need to have. UCI, universal common interest. The one person who gets the joke with just one eye contact, that is a true friend, real friend. Friendship is a relationship not by obligation but by choice. By choice. The friends who go with you on the HOV lane. No Vaishnava Aparad is involved in Vaishnava dealings. So many wonderful points from today's class. Thank you very much, Mataji. Mahasundari Mataji needs no introduction, but it is my honor to speak a few words about Mataji. Her Grace Mahasundari Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapatika Swami Maharaj, and she has been practicing this process of bhakti since her childhood. She has a husband, Rupsagar Prabhu, and a little child. We thought she will take a break after she becomes a mother, but her services have doubled and tripled after she had Jaya. And such is the dedication of that entire family. The one word that comes to everyone's mind when you see Mahasundari Mataji is enthusiasm. Her enthusiasm to share Krishna consciousness with each and everyone she comes across. Through book distribution, through teaching Sunday school, and she's our temple president. Participating in all the management activities in different ways to improve the spiritual health, emotional health, the financial standing of the temple. In all ways, she's serving very selflessly. We're very, very fortunate to have Mahasundari Mataji as part of our congregation, as our leader. Let us thank Mataji by loudly chanting the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And as our very dear friend, of course. Thank you very much, Mataji. And dear devotees, let us all rise for the Arati. The next part of the program is Arati. Let us all put the mats back. Thank you, devotees.
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Jaya Gopal Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Jaya Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Radha Kunj Bihari Shri Radhe Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita 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 Jaya Gauranita Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Devi Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada निता गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निता गौर हरि बोल निता गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निता गौर हरि बोल गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि बोल श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।